All right, so this is John Fox. We're another episode of Design, Build, Ascend Studios. I have some special guests with us today, and we're going to talk a little bit about their history and dig in some of the questions they have. One of the reasons why I really love talking to Billy, and we spend a lot of time talking when we're together, is our history. I used to know his wife before he knew her when we went to the University of Kansas together, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. And we've got another generation coming. My daughter's going to end up going there, which we're very excited about in the fall. And one of the things that we talk about as lighting design manufacturer here at Ascenti is this process where we want to be always achieving, always doing better. One of our phrases, always ascending. And part of this design and build and then ascend is sort of a re-feedback loop. So you design something, you build it, and then you continue moving forward. And Billy does a really good job of that in his life. I've known him since he was a lighting designer. He has moved around into various parts of the industry, and I think it was very strategic for him. He was spending time with manufacturers, learning how they operate, taking the information and knowledge that he had from those experiences, moving forward into other elements of representation, and always trying to do things better. And he was always ascending. He was always pushing and always learning how to what he can do next. And he does it in all aspects of his life, whether it's with his own family and working with in the sports that with his kids and music, and I think he's a talented guy in the theater world as well, which maybe we'll tease him a little bit about later. I think he had to wear a tutu once, but I don't know. We'll see. And anyway, he's an interesting character. I'm going to introduce you. We've got Billy Hodges and Jay Andrews here, and we're going to talk a little bit about AAILA. Hey, welcome to the club and being on the Design, Build, Ascend Studios, Billy.
Thanks so much, John. Yeah, we'll go right to the tutu. Ballet. I've got 10 years of actually dancing in the ballet with my kids. Now my kids have all aged out, and so I continue as the lighting designer there with their new LED lighting system, and that's exciting. But I just hung up my shoes in the last couple of years here. Anyway, yeah, I think your assessment's correct that I really try to take what I'm doing today and put it into the things that I'm going to do tomorrow, and that's been a pattern throughout my life, and that's really coming to fruition here in my work with Jay on AAILA. The American Association of Independent Lighting Agents is about trying to improve the lighting agent model through networking, through education, through resources that will help agents and manufacturers to just continue to be better, continue to be relevant as the world changes. We've got a lot of things going on in the industry that are changing how people see the industry, right? There's a lot of functions that are being replaced by simple AI and automated programs and dashboards and this, that, and the other things. So now what is the value of the agent model is something that we're really focused on. And we created an organization of lighting agencies and lighting manufacturers who work with lighting agents in order to maximize that model. So
one of the questions I really wanted to ask, and it's really clear in your acronym, AA, and then the I is specific. It's a lowercase, and it stands for independent. Why is independent such an important part of this organization? What does that mean to be independent?
Well, Jay probably has some ideas on this too, but I think that all of the agents out there are sort of fiercely independent business people. And whether you have a conglomerate or whether you are a quote unquote boutique agent or a specific to one category of the industry agent, that the folks that own and operate these agencies are independent business people, and they're constantly working with their partnerships to maximize what's the best for their business and their team. I don't know, Jay, do you have other thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I agree. I think, as we've gone through this whole process of creating this organization, we certainly recognize that in every instance, these are entrepreneurs, these are risk takers. I mean, when you think about the lighting agent sort of world, we're independent businesses. We're not compensated directly by manufacturers until we generate a sale. And so that independence allows us to do a lot of different things within our own organizations, creating the staff structure that we think would be best for our particular market, going after specific verticals and that sort of thing. But truly, running our own businesses independent from, we're in collaboration with our manufacturer partners, but by and large, we're making all the decisions, and we sort of live and die by those decisions. And I think that, certainly working with Billy over the last 16, 18 months, whatever it's been, putting this together, we certainly both recognize the need for this type of association, just to foster that, the success of the agency manufacturer partnership and our sales channel.
One of the things I thought and I associate with the word independent for agencies is that you are not beholden to a typical big box or a big conglomerate like Acuity or the such. Is that something that how you see it as well, or are you still want to operate with bringing those people into the fold as well? Because it seems like this is sort of an attempt to be rebellious in the industry. I mean, you're basically saying, look, we don't have a way to represent ourselves, and we don't have a big company sitting behind us to help push our lines. We have to do it independently. Is that a pretty good assessment as well?
Well, I wouldn't characterize this as not for an Acuity agent, if that's where you're taking that line of thinking. This is we have agents in big markets and in small markets. We have big agents, we have small agents, we have conglomerate agents, we have agents that only represent smaller independent lines, and who would choose not to, in that, not to represent a conglomerate. But in all cases, we're independent business people, and it's a really unique relationship when you look at the independent manufacturer's rep, whether it's in lighting or other industries. The independent manufacturer's rep is the most cost-effective delivery of sales and marketing and education expertise to individual markets for manufacturers that don't have the scale to put a sales force in every market and manage their distribution that way. So it's a place where we have agreements with our principals, and we utilize our relationships with different, and I mean principals like the manufacturers that we represent. We represent a variety of manufacturers that we work together with to maximize the effects for our principal manufacturers as well as our specialty manufacturers, but also, and most especially, for the business and for the folks in our organization. So,
one of the things you talked about having the ability to be a resource, whether it's for manufacturers or the design specifiers. Can you tell me how you think you guys can help with the industry, and from the perspective of having specifiers know more about what you guys do? What's your game moving forward for that?
Yeah, I think one of the key things for us, and as we were sort of brainstorming this whole idea and having agent roundtables, having manufacturer roundtables to really create a framework for what we wanted to do, it became critically apparent that the education side of things is something that is going to drive this organization forward. Being able to deliver not only the the technical aspects of a particular lighting fixture to a specifier who has an application for something like that, but to also walk in with a complete understanding of the environment that you're designing into. And there may be different aspects of that the specifier you're talking to may not be considering. And to be able to bring that level to them to help them make an educated decision on their design, we don't see a lot of that. We see manufacturers who are, obviously critically vested in the products that they manufacture and the lumen packages, the color temps, and that sort of thing. But when you start talking about applications and, one of the first training modules that will probably hit the website in the next few days literally is focused on exterior illumination. And you may run into areas of the country where dark sky is probably not even discussed, but it's a big deal. And being able to walk in and educate a specifier as to why they should design to potentially those standards. It's in the community's best interest in a lot of cases to have that, but it may not be something that they even think about because code's not requiring it in their local market. So we want to bring to the organization, and this goes for not only the agent spec salespeople, but this is also for the manufacturers, their sales team as well, to bring everybody up to speed on truly the dynamic, changing of the marketplace and what needs to be important from a specification standpoint. And so, the ability for us to deliver that, for our members is going to be critical to the success of our organization. I think specifiers will benefit certainly directly from that.
So for a specifier, you're saying that you're going to do a webinar or some sort of thing for dark sky or outdoor illumination. Is that going to be available on the website? How do you get that out? And is it free? Do people have to sign up? How's that work for the specifiers? And what's the way to get that out?
Yeah, the content is not specifically for specifiers. It's for the sales folks who maybe don't have another way to gather that content other than specifically through an IES or some sort of format, right? This is a sales-oriented piece of content. And in the case of this Good Lighting is Good Business series, we're talking about how the nighttime environment is full of opportunity for salespeople. And one of the ways to maximize your opportunity from a sales perspective is to know what you're talking about and to have some idea of how to speak to the various parties that are involved in the outdoor lighting environment. And so this content is unique because it's addressing the lighting sales community, from the regional sales manager down to the person doing quick quotes in an agency. So the content is behind a login format on your website, so a member would have access to it. Correct.
Whether you're
Members
a manufacturer or an agency, and then you basically are educating. It's a way to educate anybody who has access, which would normally, the people you're really servicing is the agencies and their staff, so they can be better informed. So when they go out and seek help with seeking to help other people in their specifications, they'll have this little information, and that'll be a whole education series. That's very interesting. I don't think I realized that. I think I was associating some of this education with the specifiers out there. Is there anything that you've got planned that is going to be educating specifiers on what you do, or how they can interact with you better? And is that going to be on a different format? How do you do that?
Yeah, I would expect to see that kind of content in marketing materials, podcasts like this, rather than specifically in the members' content. The members' content is, we've got two series conceived already. One is Good Lighting is Good Business. And then the other is about, it's basically Lighting Agent 101. And so whether you're a regional manager who is coming to understand, maybe from another industry, maybe you were selling concrete last week, but now you're selling in the lighting market, and you need to understand how lighting agents work and how they're different from, whatever other building system you were selling. Or you're a new quotes person at a lighting agency and you came from selling insurance. So you've been selling things, you've been quoting things, you've been taking orders for things, but none of it is about lighting. And so there's a lot of information that can be shared with a new employee, and we could really knock down
Oh
the
my
amount
gosh,
of
that
time
seems.
it takes to
Oh yeah,
get people up to speed.
especially if it's something it's constantly being updated, and you've got and you would have a whole library eventually where you could say, you know what, hey, on that particular thing, let's say you were trying to find out more about selection of downlights. There's 3 or 4 episodes where you've got to catch up. So is this on video content or is it audio? What is this content going to be, or is it going to be organized?
Yeah, this will be video content for both the selling series as well as the Agent 101 series. The first one, we took the approach of having a panel of experts discuss the outdoor lighting environment and all the things that relate to that. And so it's more of a panel discussion to where you can take away those sales nuggets and kind of intertwine them into your own presentation as you go calling specifiers. The Agency 101, same kind of thing. We're going to start, truly, what is an agency? What role do they play? Who all do they touch? Who are the influencers in a particular market as it starts with lighting specification all the way to, what does an electrical contractor do? What is their role? So to Billy's point, someone walking in off the street fills out an application, gets a job at a lighting agency. A lot of people, may not truly understand what their role is going to be. And this series should take you start to finish, and then wind up with now getting into applications. Because it's to sell a downlight, you first have to understand what a downlight is, and some of that terminology may not be something everybody completely understands. So we do feel like the Agent 101 series is going to be extremely valuable because, as the world progresses, we're having to recruit people from outside the industry. It's the only way this thing is going to self-sustain. And so being able to get those people ramped up as fast as possible, what we found is there aren't, in a lot of agencies, there's not this step-by-step onboarding process to, this person's responsible for teaching you this. And we've seen it even within our own company. And so feel like this is going to be, a very useful set of training modules once launched. And we hope to have the first one of that series, hopefully before or right around education coming online. So the content is coming fast and furious.
Well, I think that, there's definitely always content that's going to be good for beginning elements, people that are learning how to get into the agency world, especially for new hires and things. But I think there's definitely an opportunity for people that already know how to do lighting agency work and be educated on specific manufacturers. And I can already see where I want to do an episode for you guys on how to sell custom and understand sort of the elements of communication there and what you should expect from your custom manufacturers and things like that. So I think that would be a lot of fun. I think it would be a good asset as well.
Lighting 101 is, obviously Lighting Agent 101 is for bringing new folks into the agency and getting them up to speed. The Good Lighting is Good Business is all about identifying and realizing opportunities for high quality sales situations. And in order to have a high quality sales situation, to your question earlier about specifiers, you have to have people who are knowledgeable and responsive and understand everybody's role in the industry and who are able to facilitate discussions with all of the appropriate people in order to make the process go smoothly. And so, Good Lighting is Good Business starts to unearth different topics to focus on and new topics in the industry, right? We're talking about TM30 after this one, just so people understand and can be a part of facilitating that getting out into the sales community. We're looking at possibly doing a material transparency one where we start to help with the circular economy and really documenting everything from beginning to end. So there's a lot of current lighting topics for someone who already knows the basics of a lighting agency to get immersed in, because that's what the specification customers are struggling with and wrestling with right now. And so any support they can get from the sales side is of value to them, which is of course of value to an agency.
You know, we're already at 45 minutes, and I don't want to take up all your time. I know you guys are really busy. One of the things that was sort of fascinating for me, Billy, is that you take your ability to sort of create programs and systems in your life. You've done that with Ultimate Frisbee. You've done that with other sports. You've done that with other activities with your kids. And AAILA or AAILA, which one do you like to prefer? You prefer it?
AAILA.
AAILA. Okay, so you
Yep.
prefer AAILA. So, AAILA had to have been something that you've been sort of working on in your head for a while. I mean, what motivated you to do this? It seems like it was a hole in the world, and you decided to fill it. I mean, that's kind of how I work and operate too, and just you can't help it. I mean, just interesting.
I think in part,
I mean,
Jay tells this part of the story the best though, but it's, yes, I identified a hole, Jay identified a hole, and
you just start getting filling that hole up.
Yeah.
And you can't help yourself, right? I mean, pretty soon that's all you can think about. And all of a sudden you have an organization, and it seems to be blowing up. I'm very excited about it. I remember when I first got my first email from you, and it says, "Hey, could you test your credit card? I just want to see if this will work." And so, of course, and then I ended up being the very first person to be a founding member of your AAILA. So I feel honored. So, yeah. Could you test credit card, see if that works? Yeah. Yeah, I guess it went through.
Congratulations, you're a new member.
Exactly. Very cool. So I understand you're doing a founding event at Education. You want to talk more a little bit about that?
Yeah, so on the Monday before Education, so that's March the 14th, from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Hilton Midtown, which is the same hotel where Education is going to be held. We're having a sort of a kickoff cocktail reception for founding members, so both the agents and manufacturers who are members of AAILA, and there's still time to join to be part of that. We'll have a get together. We'll also have the two sponsors that we have currently, Inside Lighting and Edison Report. They'll be there as well, but it's just a kickoff, reception before everybody ventures off into the night with their manufacturer dinners and that sort of thing, just to get together and really talk about the collective vision that we all have for this organization. And you're right, Billy and I, it was weird how we were in parallel thinking about the same thing, and then we had Al from Inside Lighting sort of connected us, and that was October of 2020, I think, is when we started this thing. And Billy and I've never even met face to face because we haven't been able to travel anywhere, and so we'll meet each other at Education. But it's interesting. I didn't realize, Billy, you had a dance background. I've been a dance dad for like 14 years, and my daughter is graduating high school, and so the dancing is coming to an end. I never made it on stage. That was my own choice, and the audience would have been grateful for that. But yeah, so it should be a good event coming up here in just a few weeks in New York.
Yeah, we have 3 dancers on this program. I minored in dance at the University of Kansas, so
there you go.
It was couldn't stop moving since then. So, well, my knees kind of slowed me down.
Yeah, Jay started talking about our reception, and the reception's a big deal because for us, that's really kind of the finish line for, I guess, phase 2, right? Now that we've got this founding member phase, and anyone who wants to be a founding member, this is your chance, because after Education, you're no longer a founding member. So please go ahead and sign up prior to Education. Did I mention it's very affordable? It's a big tent organization and everyone should join. That said,
It is a big tent.
um,
It is a big tent.
we want to have, the next phase for us is to not have this be the Billy and Jay show anymore, and get a board in place and some committees in place, and start to grow this, more broadly, now that we've got sort of the bones in place to carry the rest forward. So we look forward to our founding members signing up to be a part of what AAILA really can and should grow into from here.
So you heard it from Billy. You only got a few more weeks before you are no longer going to be considered a founder, and so sign up soon. And if you have any questions, just leave your comments below in the program, and I'll be sure to get you Billy's cell phone number. So no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, happy to support you guys, and happy to be part of this, watching this grow from when it was just an idea 2020. I know we were part of some original think tanks via Zoom, and had a bunch of key players in there to talk about it and sort of grind through some of the ideas. And I'm very excited for you, Billy. And I think this is such a perfect project for you, Billy. It just fits. It fits your personality and your passion. And I really thought it would be great to have you on the show, because it is always about ascending, and it's totally you. And congratulations. So anyway, Leducation, don't be late. So anyway, thanks guys for your time, and we'll do this again. We'll have another one, and who knows what we'll talk about, but I suspect it'll be about education. So all right, thanks guys.
Thanks, John.
All right, so I mean, that was easy enough, right?
Yes.
Did we hit the parts you wanted to talk about?
I think so. I mean, yeah. I think the important thing was that this value, there's a higher value to be had from well-educated salespeople when it comes to the specification market. So, I think that's sort of the side message to take out of this thing.